Sarah the Vegan Hooper here. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Today I want to teach you a move that I've been messing around with that my boyfriend named the dip and twist. So in the beginning, I know it looks crazy and tough, but it's quite simple, and really all it is a hybrid from the original poi move wraps or wrist wraps. So if you look in my description box, I will link a tutorial for the binary star, and there I have a very well explained tutorial on this move wraps. So you will need to know how to do this to get the move down, or it'll be much easier to get if you know how to do wraps. With that being said, for the dip and twist, your hands stay together the whole entire trick, so it makes it easier on you when you turn this video off and try to remember the trick. If your hands aren't together, then you're not doing it correctly. But anyways, with no further ado, let's jump right in. So if you do not know how to get into wraps, we'll start with our hoops on our dominant sides, thumbs pointing up with an inside grip. We'll take our right hand and we'll fold it over so the hoop is now framing us, but now our thumb is pointing down and our wrist is facing forward. And we'll do the same with our left hand. So we will fold the hoop over till our thumb is pointing down, and then we will have our wrists touch, okay? This is our interlocked, webbed, beginning to wraps, and for the move that I'm going to teach you today. So we're going to first discuss our hoop that is on the bottom, and that is my right hoop or my right hand. So I'm just going to fold this hoop back so you could actually see what I am doing real quickly. So if you notice, I have an inside grip, my thumb is pointing down and my wrist is facing you, sort of, but it's in an awkward position because my elbow's pointing up and it's not the most comfortable position. What we're going to do is we're going to fold the hoop until our thumb is pointing up and our wrist is facing back. And we're going to fold the hoop one more time so that our wrist is almost facing forward, but it's basically pointing up, and our thumb is pointing down again. Once we get here, we are going to move our hoop so that it is framing our legs, okay? So it starts with our thumb pointing down and our elbow pointing up. We're going to fold it so our wrist is facing back and our thumb is pointing up, and fold it one more time. And it's very awkward here, so then I just bring it down so that the hoop is framing my legs. So when we get into the position for wraps, this is what it looks like together, because what I'm going to do with the hoop that is on top is keep it still for a moment while I do the wrist twist. And then when I bring the hoop down to my legs, I am going to isolate the hoop that didn't do anything to 6 o'clock. And basically it's a tracing motion with the other hoop that just went down to its legs, okay? And together it looks like this. Alright? Now from here it gets a little difficult if you do not know how to do wraps or wrist wraps, but what I want to do is talk about the hoop that is on top, because right now our hoops are stacked one on top of each other, and of course our hands are close together. So what you want to do is let go of the hoop that is on top, and it's going to roll over your pointer finger. So it's not going to roll towards your pinky, it's going to roll towards your pointer finger when you let go of it, like that. And basically what you're doing is the bottom of an extension, sort of. It's that feeling of when the hoop rides on the bottom of the extension, or it's riding on your knuckles. So if you ever want to get good at that, just practice swaying the hoop back and forth with your thumb pointing down on the opposite side and pointing up on its native side, trying to keep wall plane nice and clean, okay? So back to the hoop stacked on top of each other. The top hoop is going to let go towards the pointer finger. You're going to let go of the hoop, and you're going to re-grip it with your thumb pointing down and your pinky close to the top, okay? And what your bottom hoop is wanting to do, we want to switch places. So the hoop that is on the top is going to end up on the bottom and vice versa. So what we're going to do is just drag the hoop up. So it's sort of doing a C. Okay? And together it looks like this. Now, once you re-grip, the opposite hoop is on top. And if you move your right hoop a little further, or your right hand a little further, so that your thumb is pointing down, you'll notice that you are in the perfect place to begin wraps again, where you're in that interlocked wrist twist thing. Okay? So we just did basically one side of a wrap, or one side of my move, the dip and twist. So let's go from the beginning again. Fold with your thumb down, fold with your thumb down. We're interlocked. We'll have our right hoop to begin on the bottom. It's going to have its wrist start by facing forward. We're going to fold, fold one more time. We're going to isolate to 6 o'clock. We're going to let go and reposition the hoop so the opposite hoop is stacked on top. And then we are going to go a little bit further so that we're basically interlocked again. So I said that the top hoop, move your hand so that the thumb is pointing down, but nudge your bottom hoop up a little bit further as well, so that you're basically in a sideways figure 8. Okay? Now from here, if you notice, the opposite hand is on the bottom, which is now my left hand. So now my left hand is going to do the twist. If you notice, its wrist is sort of facing forward with my elbow pointing up. So it's going to fold until my thumb is pointing up and my wrist is facing back, and fold one more time until my wrist is facing up and my thumb is pointing down, and then we're going to bring it down so that it is now framing our legs, okay? And at the same time, our top hoop isn't doing anything for the wrist twist until I bring my hoop down to 6 o'clock and framing my legs, basically doing a little tracer motion. From here, the hoops are stacked. I'm going to let go of the top hoop and re-grip while I bring my bottom hoop to the top. And then I'm going to nudge both hoops a little bit further along so that I can be interwebbed again. And now we are back to start with our right on the bottom. So just remember, whatever hoop is on the bottom for this move is the hoop that is going to do the twist. Okay? And that is the whole shebang. So it does look good, like I said, fast, but make sure that you, because you are twisting your wrist twice, that last twist can be a little wonky when you speed up your move. It could look like that. So make sure that you have strong wrists and you really practice doing it fast but clean. So that is it, guys. Of course, this move, the very how to get in and out of it for a beginner, I would say, is through wraps. Okay, you could even get to it through an extension versus a 4-petal anti-spin flower, because when you end, you are in the wraps position. If you still can't get this move after practicing for a while, try a looser grip, especially when you go to speed this move up. I do it with a very loose grip. That helps immensely, especially when trying to keep my planes or my angles nice and clean. And these hoops are actually 3 hoops, a set of triples that I got from Festival Treasures, and before I sanded inside and outside, they were this beautiful, you could still see it, a beautiful shimmery gold to green to almost purple iridescent. But because I am new to triples, my hoops were flying everywhere and it was just a mess. So I thought if I sanded it, it would help me. And yes, they're still very beautiful though, aren't they? If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you want to learn anything, feel free to leave a comment below. Check out Festival Treasures Etsy shop and use my code VeganHooper for cash off. And I hope that you guys have a beautiful day. Happy hooping and God bless you. Mwah.